everybody.
Hello, everyone. Haha. Long time no see, by which I mean 2 weeks.
So true. Yeah, so we did just release a public bonus episode, and that was very fun.
Yeah. Talking points right at the top. Giveaway still going on our Twitter. Public bonus episode just came out. We released a new exclusive playlist for our patrons, the captain, but it's all Seashanties. Very fun. And we have another one coming out in the next couple of days. Sabine, but it's all musical theater. Watch out for that.
Yeah, so giveaway. These babies.
Yes.
You will have a chance to get one once we get to 300 followers. I think we need 10 more.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So
we are still on break from our regular posting schedule. Episode 10 of season 3 goes up in not this Friday, but next Friday.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got all that going on, and this week was fun. Yeah, like revisiting that bonus episode.
We had a lot of fun recording, Lorelai. I encourage you to take him to our room.
Yeah.
It was really good.
We don't have a playlist breakdown for that because we never made a playlist for it.
Which we usually don't for our bonus
episodes.
For
bonus episodes we don't. I think the only one that we've done that for is Omegroth. So.
Yeah. And that's a whole other kettle of fish. That's a whole other can of worms. That's a whole other, what's another euphemism for that?
I don't know.
It's a whole other pot of crab. I don't know. Anyway.
It's a whole other pot of crab. Anyway.
I am a simple person. Sometimes I say stuff.
So we're going to be getting into our questions that we got. There aren't a lot of them. We're mostly just going to be riffing for this whole Q&A.
It's probably going to be a short one.
Yeah, and I'll just say, like, off the bat, if you guys have any other questions or anything else you'd like us to talk about, just
drop them.
Fucking put it in there. We've only got like 4 questions.
Yeah. So. It's a bonus episode. We're taking things easy on the break Q&A. We're all good. First question was, talk about Lorelai's wild magic. Literally everything you want, but I mostly want to hear about how it's catastrophic. So true.
I mean, we're running her on a basic wild magic sorcerer.
Yeah, she's just
build.
Extremely powerful.
Yeah, she's just very high level.
Yeah.
So, but the basic thing for wild magic sorcerers is the DM can make you roll on the wild magic surge table anytime you cast a spell.
Yeah, and with Lorelai, we've also homebrewed that it's anytime she casts a spell, and when she is having strong emotions, we roll on the wild magic surge table sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and we've been doing that, but there's some stuff on the wild magic surge table. There's some things there. There's an option where if she rolls it, she just turns into a potted plant. For a couple rounds.
Which that never...
Lorelai become ficus.
That never happens. But
yeah.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but like, it's just, there's so much stuff on the wild magic surge table. When we were playing Leo and Fee in our home game originally, I was playing Fee as a wild magic sorcerer because it was before a lot of the sorcerer options that exist were out, because it was early in 5e history.
Like Divine Soul didn't really work for Fee.
It was before Divine Soul came out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It was back when the only options for sorcerers were wild magic and draconic bloodline.
And Shadow.
Nope, it was before Shadow.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It was before. It's been a while. But yeah, and what was some of the stuff that happened when we had to have Fee roll on the table? She
did turn into a potted plant, didn't she?
She turned into a potted plant once. She shrunk 3 inches one time. Or no, 2 inches, something like that. Anyway. And she turned a different color. I don't remember what. But yeah, that was like, it's a whole thing. The Wild Magic Surge table, if you've played a Wild Magic Sorcerer, you know it's wild. And like, at any point when we are playing Lorelei, we are just, what's gonna happen? And that kind of fits with the way that we've constructed Lorelei's magic, is that she warps reality. So like, it is very much a thing that we've formulated of when she is fully in control of it and when she is pointing it towards a purpose, it is something that is very powerful and has a lot of uses. Most of the time, that is not the case.
Yeah.
It works against her a little bit.
Well, and like, if we consider like the events of Lorelei and Courage Taken Tarum, yeah.
You know what? She's valid.
She messed up some bullies, but you know, like, bet they won't do it again.
Yeah. Oh goodness, and I don't know, with the writing of Lorelei, it's just something that's fun. What is it? Okay, the hinge fell, or the tip fell off my glasses lens or arm. Anyway, but yeah, it's just something fun. It's fun to write Lorelei like this. Personally, as an autistic person, personally, I'm a big fan of the trope where especially neurodivergent people have big emotions and big things happen because of them. Personally, I find it very empowering and very fun. Can't speak for anybody else, but it's very fun to write Lorelei in that lens and just throw shit at her and see what happens.
Which I think, like, in that bonus episode, we get to see a lot more of Lorelei having, like, agency and, like, using that.
Yeah, just because, like, so much shit has happened to her, and in most of the podcast, she is the youngest person in the room. Nobody's gonna let the 14-year-old make the big decisions. You know what I mean? So it was fun to have a bonus episode where she is the voice of reason and she is the voice of authority, and see what happens there. It's fun. We didn't talk at all about Courage's characterization before we went in there. I want to say, like, the recording of it, we did not talk about any plans for Courage. Barry just said, here's her stat block, go. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. She's very interesting.
Yeah. She, I think what we basically decided on at the end of everything was that she's just a tiny felon.
Yeah. These small do crime. I just thought there was something very enchanting because she has such high charisma. I thought there was something very enchanting about her as just the smallest convoy in Gitarum. Just an 8-year-old that will steal your wallet. I think she's so fun. Jojo Siwa, but she plays the shell game. Very fun. Oh, goodness.
Okay, apparently we're having some issues with things. Hold on.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna try to figure it
out. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Apparently we're having some issues. Hang on. Oopsie. Anyway, but yeah. I just had an interesting time. But the idea of just a tiny little girl who is so charismatic that you don't notice all the nonsense that she gets into is something that enchants me every time. And like, the excuse to use that trope is just every time it's there, I must take it. I must. Having issues. Technical difficulties. There we go. But very fun thing. What else was I going to talk about? But yeah, it was very fun to play Lorelai off of that, especially just because Lorelai, poor thing, she just has never been in this position where she has had to be the oldest person in the room. It's so sad. Oh goodness. As we see if our technical difficulties are worked out.
Yeah, we're trying to parse it out.
There we go.
Yay! Hello. Okay.
Technical difficulties. Here we go. Okay. Anyway.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it here. Yeah.
YouTube is a website that functions. Oh goodness.
Okay. Let me make sure that everything works out. On like the main social media channels.
Okay. Oh. Oops.
I don't know what caused any of this, but
we are not very
we're old and we're sad. Listen.
Sorry, somebody in the chat just said, who is Misery, who is CPR, who is Reese's Puffs with the PQ? I don't understand where that meme came from. I don't know where that meme came from. Sabine, Fee, the captain, in order.
Why are you saying that when you don't understand it? Okay.
I've seen enough of the meme. I don't know where it came from, but I've seen enough of the meme. Oh, apparently one of our other listeners says hi. Hi. Oh, goodness. Yeah, in order, from what I've seen of the meme, I don't know where it came from. In order, Sabine, Fee, the captain. The captain is Reese's Puffs. Anyway. Oh, goodness. Oh, very fun. People who understand the meme are very, very excited. Oh, goodness. Where's the dog? Hello.
Oh, Dart says hi. Hi, Dart.
Hi, Dart. That's funny, though. Come on. Yeah. I have seen just enough of the meme that I know it is funny. I just don't know where it came from. Dart agrees. Captain is Reese's Puff. Yeah. Yeah.
I know nothing about this because I am old and tired.
Okay. So I'm not going to say the middle one because it's NSFW and this is on our public YouTube channel. But the first half, the Misery thing is Misery by, I think it's by Maroon 5, you know, the song of
Girl, you really got me, but yeah.
That one. And
Where
then
okay, that's my wife. Okay.
And then the third one is just chanting Reese's Puffs, and it's, you put all three of them together, and I won't say the middle one again because it's NSFW.
Are you gonna take him out or no?
I was using the bathroom.
Okay.
The dog has escaped. And
well,
does he need to go out?
Yeah, probably. He's angry. He doesn't need to poop. But there's my wife.
Oh goodness! As you can tell, this is a very laid-back Q&A. Oh, I'm sorry. I just scratched your arm.
It's okay.
Everything going wrong at once. So fun. Anyway, Lorelai and Courage. Our chat says hi, Chelsea.
Hi.
Yeah. Chelsea helped us work out a plot hole that we worked ourselves into.
Oh, here's Woody.
Woody's here. Chelsea has been big brain moments all day. Everybody say thank you.
Please. Yeah, we had a huge plot hole that we didn't know what to do with it, and Chelsea literally solved it in 5 seconds.
Yeah, Chelsea solved it in 2 words. Fantastic.
Hi, Mr. Boy.
The chat is giving Woody carrots. So true.
Baby boy. I'll take him a carrot for the chat when we come back inside.
Will you? Oh, so true.
Woody gets treats, eats on camera. So true.
Woody's so confused right now.
Okay, yeah, take
Would
it
he
down.
not know? Would he not understand? Would he not understand cameras? Would he understands pictures of himself? That's it.
Yeah, okay, going back.
Getting silly with it today.
Yeah, no, it's a very laid back Q&A.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, it will not be laid back.
Break. Going back to our question. Oh goodness, we talked about Lorelai's wild magic. Next question was, who was Courage's dad that died?
Just a guy.
Just a guy. Somebody in the chat said we also mama bird our dog carrots. Yeah. Barry tweeted the other week about Chills having to bite carrots in half to share them with Woody because he will just eat them whole. He's a problem.
And then he'll throw up. Yeah.
Mama birding. Emetophobia. Sorry. Anyway. But yeah, somebody asked about Courage's dad. We just made up a guy. He doesn't have a lot of depth, but like when Barry was concepting Courage existing, she needed a second parent, and we didn't think that he was in the picture anymore, but we also didn't want to have like Courage have an absent dad. We didn't want to do that. But we ended up deciding on, because we had planned him out as also an infernal elf that came over from Australia and was living in Boulder. We had planned that he had died like a few years before the events of the podcast. Yeah. Didn't give him a lot of depth. If you want to give him depth in fan work, you are welcome. He's fun. I mean, he's not. He doesn't have much, but it's fun to take the characters that have no substance and just go.
Yeah, so Courage's dad was just a guy. Yeah, just a dude.
Just a dude.
Not a bad dude. Like,
somebody in the chat said, comfortable new dead parent. Oh no. Look.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. The basic concept was just a decent dude because because Allure had no one else that was decent except her brother. So it was just fun if she had a decent second partner. But we also didn't want to develop him or have him around for the episode that Allura and Adora and Courage appeared in the main series of the podcast. So, just a guy.
He got sick and he died.
Yeah. And then it was, and then with the Lorelai and Courage bonding episode, it kind of just became something that they could bond over.
Like shared loss.
Yeah. And it kind of became something that was a good emotional beat for that episode. Very plot utility as far as characters go. But, and there goes the dog.
Oh, yeah, he knows the carrots are coming.
He can hear them. He hears the fridge open and he runs.
Are you getting him carrots, babe?
Yeah. So true. Oh, goodness. Somebody in the chat said, Allure needed a glow up from moral and attempt, but Allure isn't allowed happiness, apparently. She's happy.
Sorry.
Ish.
There it is. She's happy-ish.
As Woody gets treats.
Can I have a carrot so I can feed him?
Yeah, here. Woody, it's over here.
He's too stupid to know where they are on the floor.
He can't see. His one eye doesn't work.
That's true. That's true.
Little boy.
He's also dumb, to be fair.
Remember, you gotta break it up.
I know. Come here.
He's confused.
He's confused. He usually doesn't get picked up for treats. Oh, goodness. Woody says hi. Premium content. Thank you. He crunch.
Okay.
He wants down. Woody says, oh! Not pick Woody up. Woody not like to be tall. If Woody was supposed to be tall, Woody would have long legs. So true.
Oh! Our dog is so dumb and we love him so much. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Woody, say goodbye.
Dumb. He tried to go into the neighbor's apartment.
Oh my god, again?
Yeah. Number 3.
He's stupid. What do you know where you live?
They were coming out, and he was like, oh, hello.
Oh, door is open. What's he go?
All right, bye, friends. Have fun.
We will. Our dog is the dumbest animal in the world. I love him a lot. Anyway. Oh, goodness.
This is blind spot. He can't see them in the floor. Let him be. No, he has a big, fucking cataract in one eye. Yeah.
It contributes to his antics, but it did not make him stupid.
No, he was already stupid. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Little boy. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, going back.
Woody diversion.
But yeah, Courage's dad was just a guy, just a dude.
If you want to develop him, feel free.
Go for it.
But yeah, we just needed the plot utility of him, and then bringing it up in the bonus episode was something not fun, but it was a good emotional beat for Courage and Laurel to bond.
Talk about a door. I'm just so fond of this funny fruit. I mean, we got Adore and his boyfriend.
Adore so much. I love Adore so much. I love him so much.
He's doing his best.
He's doing his best. I'm just enchanted by his entire concept, i.e., gay professor uncle. Just the entire aesthetic of sleek gay professor uncle is so choice. It's so good. Loved having Adore around this episode. It was really good. He was
losing his mind for the majority of the episode.
His energy is fun because it is aligned with, it's like the middle of the spectrum of uncle energies between Valorant and Boreas. It's really good.
We get the camp.
Yeah.
We get the camp that we lost from either end of that spectrum.
Yeah. He's the middle of the spectrum. He's in the sweet spot where he gets to be camp and fun. Somebody in the chat said, in my mind, he's shaped like Dr. Facilier.
Actually.
Long, lanky.
Lanky, pointy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, goodness. It was fun to get him around, and also it was fun, the idea of... Oh, somebody said character inspirations.
For what?
For Adore, I assume.
Adore.
You answer this one, because I wasn't a huge part of Adore's building.
I would say Felix from Orphan Black. Mostly Felix from Orphan Black.
I think at one point you referenced a musical theater character to me, but I don't remember who it was.
The narrator from Cabaret.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the narrator from Cabaret. That was it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just the inspiration for Adore was
just camp. It's just camp.
Just camp, but make him middle-aged. Someone who was camp in his 20s and is now middle-aged and a professor. Somebody in the chat said, I love Orphan Black. Oh my god.
We have a character coming for you in campaign 2, and oh my, is he going to come for you?
When we watched Orphan Black, we both really liked Felix. I'm rotating him in my mind. Rotating him in my brain. Somebody in the chat said, Cabaret feels so right. Yeah. Yeah, the entire concept of someone who was very flashy in camp in his 20s, and we established that he and Allure were both performers, and were both traveling magical performers, especially.
When they went out into the greater world, went on their rope stringer, essentially.
That very much was what they did. So the concept of Allure reading fortunes and doing magic tricks, and Adore being the announcer for her, was something that we thought was really fun.
Because he's not a sorcerer, he's a warlock.
Yeah, he's a warlock.
Yeah.
He has less natural magical talent than Allure does, so the idea of him being very much the hype man.
Yeah.
And the performer, and the big, the narrator from Cabaret, very much that vibe, and the idea of...
Welcome.
Yeah. And the idea of, okay, what does the person who has built their persona around that do when he's not doing that anymore? And he has to settle down and be low-key. And apparently it's be a magic professor with his cat. Somebody in the chat said, we're so excited for campaign 2. Us too.
Us too. We're trying really hard not to talk too much about it.
We're trying not to spoil anything, but we're...
Yeah, we've done a lot of work. And in the last arc of the end of campaign 1, we have come across some very good things that we feel that you guys are going to be very excited about.
We're very excited. Somebody in the chat said, okay. Somebody in the chat said, I am told rotating a horse in your brain solves all problems. That's exactly how I feel about every slightly quirky male character in this show. Yeah, you simply have to rotate them. We've done a lot of work. You mean astrology? Yes.
Yes.
Everyone asks us. We have done that. We also we sat down to try to do some of the character sheets earlier this week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we've been on break
for campaign 2, but
for campaign 2. But much of the week has an interesting character creation system, but we're being silent.
Okay, do we have?
I tippy tap my little fingers. We had one more question.
Talk about courage, just fun little things. She's a felon.
I just like her. Her concept spiraled from the moment of her getting blackmail money from her uncle to not spill his secrets to her mom. Her characterization just dominoed from there. I had so much fun with her.
What if we took JoJo Siwa and just made her a white collar criminal?
JoJo Siwa, but she plays the shell game. JoJo Siwa, but she hustles people and she has a bat. Yeah. She enchants me, and not like present JoJo Siwa,
like
early career
JoJo Siwa. Yeah.
Just she enchants me. She's so fun. Very much. Courage's characterization came about because that was a fun concept, and because the entire idea of what am I saying? We already had Lorelai's characterization, and we were trying to figure out who would play off of Lorelai in the most fun way. And it turns out the answer is an 8-year-old on a sugar rush that just hustles people.
Just a tiny criminal.
Yeah.
And we will tell you, in terms of later bonus episodes and everything else,
Courage will be back.
Yeah, we have not heard the last of Courage.
We have not heard the last of Courage in bonus episodes. I think we said the last one we're doing in the between campaign hiatus. Yeah. Courage will be back. Mm-hmm. Very exciting.
Yeah, she's just a little felon.
She's just fun. Yeah. She's just fun. She's just a little con artist, and you know what? She's right. Who's gonna stop her?
So open question time. That was our last question.
We're gonna run a little longer than a half hour because we had technical difficulties at the beginning of the stream. So good. We had the episode. We are frazzled this week. Somebody in the chat said, I like to think she has one of those pink bikes with frills and bows, and she's the personification of get in, loser, we're going shopping. So true. True.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, actually.
I just think.
Just a nasty little girl.
Just a nasty little girl. She's so fun. It was very interesting to be able to play Lorelai as the responsible one.
Well, yeah, because we see Lorelai getting put on the back burner for so much of the campaign.
Because she's 14.
Because she's 14, and because she's surrounded by people that are much older than her and that want to protect her.
Yeah, and they're right. It's a careful balance walk of giving Lorelai agency in the main narration, while also acknowledging
that she's a kid.
She is a child. She is a child, and she is surrounded by people in their mid to late 20s and 30s. There is no. This is not a YA novel. There's no world in which Lorelai would be at the forefront of everything because she's a kid. So it's very much a careful balance walk in the main narration, but then in this one we didn't have to. We didn't have to because an 8-year-old took her gallivanting in the city. Somebody in the chat said, "Tell us about that thing in the tunnel. I forget the spelling." Oh yeah, the monster. Tell them. You found it.
Oh, it's a bullet.
Yes.
Yeah. It's in the monster manual for D&D.
We were trying to find something subterranean that would be that wouldn't immediately TPK us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a subterranean monster. It burrows.
I don't know if I'm correct, but I've been picturing it like the bullet creature from Mario, like the, you know what I mean? You know, the bullet.
I mean,
man.
yeah. If you look up if you look up the definition in the monster manual, like the bullet is right there. Yeah, it burrows underground. It comes up. It tries to eat you.
Yeah. It's very Jaws, like it's under and then it, which I thought was a fun thing for a monster. Somebody in the chat said, "Cool, children fighting giant monsters is so funny to me." Yeah.
Yeah, and like that was the whole thing that we were trying to kind of get at. Mm-hmm. There was like,
and we were trying to stay away from like putting them in actual peril and just have wacky hijinks. But we wanted a little combat. We wanted to have something fun. We wanted an excuse for them to flex their spell sheets, and we wanted to have it in a situation where they weren't facing off against other children.
Yeah. Which they fought the bullies. They fought the bullies.
Yeah. We had the bully fight, but like we wanted them to be able to like really flex the spell sheets, and that was we didn't want it to be on 10-year-old boys.
So, yeah, and really we had them fight a train because the big flex there was the train coming at them and Lorelei doing that dimension door at the last moment. Yeah.
But yeah, it was, the vibe of this was very much like Disney movie, like Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Like it was very much a fun family movie level of danger that we were trying to mess with. Rescuers Down Under, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that's the movie that I thought of.
No, I think Home Alone 2 is kind of the vibe
that was the blueprint. That was the blueprint. Somebody in the chat said, I don't know if you talked about it at the beginning, we did, but we'll talk about it again. Talk about Lorelei's Wild Magic Surge. Like that D100 mechanic, which is cool, but I like the specifics of what's on the sheet. And someone else said, not brutal and horrifying like the new Home Alone. Is the new Home Alone brutal and horrifying?
I haven't watched the new Home Alone.
Oh, God. I'm going to pull up the Wild Magic Surge table, though. There are interesting options on there. We said this at the beginning when you didn't hear it because of the technical difficulties, but there are a lot of weird things on there. You can turn into a potted plant randomly. There's mechanics to change height by a number of inches, which Lorelei has done in the main narration. Wild Magic Surge table. When we were, like I said at the beginning of the Q&A, but I'll say it again. When we were playing Leo and Fee in our home game, we had Fee as a Wild Magic Sorcerer, and she, in the space of one battle, because our DM was punishing with it, she shrunk like 3 inches, turned blue, and almost turned into a potted plant in the space of like one battle. Oh my God. Somebody in the chat said, about the new Home Alone. Yes, it is. It's a rich child versus a struggling middle class family trying to survive a misunderstanding. That's not fun.
That's not fun.
Why would you do that? What is the point of Home Alone if it's not Macaulay Culkin trying to repel some home invaders? What is the point? I'm tired of the reboots. I'm tired of the new sequels. Let's see. Age capitalism. Oh yeah, the Wild Magic Surge table is fun. There's an option if you roll a 1 or a 2 on the Wild Magic Surge table, you just keep rolling it. There's one where you cast Fireball as a 3rd level spell centered on yourself.
So you take the damage, yeah.
Yeah, so you and everybody around you takes Fireball damage. You cast Magic Missile as a 5th level spell, just randomly changing shape. You cast Confusion or Fog Cloud centered on yourself. You grow a long beard made of feathers that remains until you sneeze, at which point the feathers explode from your face. What's on the higher numbers? The top one is you regain all expended sorcery points. and then not super far below it. Like, the higher ones are better. Like, at 95, 96, you and all creatures within 30 feet of you gain vulnerability to piercing damage for the next minute. You become invisible. You cast fly on a random creature. Like, it's a weird thing. It's a weird mechanic. It's really fun. You can take an additional action. We got the butterfly one, which was just the poetic cinema of it all.
Of Lorelai trying to do a fucking like fancy magic thing, and it's just butterflies.
Yeah. So good, so good. Of all the options, that was the best option to roll.
And I did roll it. Like, that's the whole thing. Yeah,
it was so good. You glow with bright light for the next minute. Any creature within 5 feet of you is blinded. Like, it's very much things that can be good for utility if you're in the middle of a certain situation, but oftentimes just backfire on you and your party. Like,
so wild magic is a very fun sorcerer subclass.
Wild magic is really fun. And like, depending on how brutal your DM is about it, it is either really fun every so often, or it's really fun every time you cast a spell. because your DM can make you roll it every time you cast a spell.
Well, which is what we did with Lorelai and Courage.
Yes, yeah. And that was because we had so much Lorelai focus, and we don't have as much Lorelai focus in the main narration. We wanted to use it as much as possible. It was just delicious. I think it is more fun as a storytelling mechanic when you are having a game that is broadcasted than it is in a home game, because when you have to roll it 5 times in a battle, it is punishing. It is punishing.
As the person that was playing Lorelai, yes, it is. Yeah. It was very punishing.
I think if Lorelai had been one of the viewpoint PCs for this campaign, we would have used it more sparingly. But in a one-shot, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to have. Good to have. So, shifting my chair. Oh, goodness. I think we're going to go for another 5 minutes, and that'll make up for our technical difficulties. So, open question time about the bonus
any other
episode,
questions,
about anything else.
Anything,
How about patrons? How about that Captain playlist?
So true.
It was good.
We're going to have... and again, we're going to have the Sabine playlist coming up either tonight
Sabine, but
or
it's
tomorrow.
Probably tonight.
Yeah, probably tonight.
It'll be fun. We're very proud of that one as well. These are really good playlists. They're very... they play off each other nicely, I think.
Well, and I agree, because we have the kind of thematic elements going in of like the captain, but it's all sea shanties. But I was able to find sea shanties. Not only I did a deep dive on sea shanties on Spotify to find sea shanties that had an alto or a mezzo soprano lead voice for the captain, and like, it's not only sea shanties, it does build a narrative. Yeah. And then with Sabine, we also did the same thing. With
and
like,
we had like a lot of motifs in the musical theater songs that we did use. Like, we did there was a performing motif that was pretty big. Mm-hmm. We did very much returning home motifs. There was a lot of stuff about her mom.
Yeah, and like family narratives.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Somebody in the chat said, how's Allure doing? Is she okay, like, mentally? She's stressed. She's okay now, I think, because it's been like a year since all of these events for her. She's okay now, I think. I think the confrontation with Fee shook her up. I don't think she has found out yet about what Courage did in this bonus episode. I think... Well,
because she bribed a door and was like, don't tell my mom.
Yeah. I don't think Allure, in the present day of the podcast, has yet found out about the events of Lorelai and Courage taking turn. And another person said, any Zed lore you have to spare? Zed, my beloved. He had a fun line in the episode we've been recording today.
But we can't tell you
about it. And it's on repeat in my brain. Zed lore that we haven't discussed already.
I mean, it's the thing that led to the only thing.
Yeah,
we
but
can
that's
talk about
sad.
is,
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what we've discussed in podcast and what we still have to discuss. Here's the thing. Here's a fun thing. I've decided recently that in my head, just retroactively, I've decided that Zed was the ring bearer at Lynn and Camilla's wedding.
No, he wasn't, because he didn't know they got married.
Oh yeah, no. No, he was. Sorry, I'm sorry. My bad. What was the other thing I said? That's not correct. Ignore it. But I think it was kind of in a train of thought that I had about he was old enough when his mom and Camila got together that, like, I think Camila has just been, like, his buddy more than his mom because he was old enough to do that. Like, I think she was already involved in raising him because the community that he grew up in was very communal. Everybody kind of got raised together. And I think that, like, when Lynn and Camila got together, it was very much for Zed, like, imagine your favorite teacher lives in your house now. And that was kind of something that I was, a dynamic I was developing in my head with them that was really fun.
Well, yeah, with, like, monk shit. Like, Camila was probably, like, his, like, English teacher or whatever.
Like yeah. And I think it stands in sharp contrast to the fact that, like, I think Camila is a very nurturing person. Lynn Stonebloom is very much of the school of thought of kids are going to make mistakes and all you can do is warn them. Like I've said before that, like, their dynamic is encapsulated by, like, an event that I had in my head from when Zed was a kid of Lynn voice, okay, you're going to climb that tree and you're going to fall out of it and you're going to get hurt. And Zed saying, no, I'm not. I'm really good at everything. And then he fell out of the tree and broke his arm. Like, that's very much the encapsulation of their dynamic. Whereas I think Camila is very much a lot more cautious with it. So I think they have really good dynamic. What was the other thing? I also had in my head, I don't have a lot of lore about, like, his birth mom, like the mom that gave birth to him, because obviously Lynn is his other biological mom. But I had in my head that, like, she was someone that did a lot of traveling, and, like, those were the first couple years of Zed's life, was that he was traveling with his other mom, and
it just didn't work. Like,
yeah, and she eventually realized that, like, her specific lifestyle and, like, her profession and her work and her traveling around wasn't really working with Zed as a very bouncy, very, ADHD kids need a lot of attention. And, like, it wasn't really working and giving Zed as much attention and as much nurturing as he needed. So I think at, like, 4 or 5 would have been when he went to live with Lynn permanently. And that was kind of something that I had in my head with him from, like, really early on. But I think he is not in great contact with that mom either, as we've seen, because she hasn't come up yet. But that's kind of, like, obscure lore that I have in my head of Zed and his entire family dynamic. Like, I think very much in his head, the person that he can rely on for stuff is Lynn, but, like, I'm trying to figure out how to say this about his other mom. Like, he can't rely on his other mom, but she is fun, and he knows that she cares about him a lot. They just are both bad at communicating and haven't talked in, like, a while. So I think Camila coming into the family was very much someone who was reliable and also a lot warmer than Lynn is.
Well, and somebody that wanted that family dynamic.
Yeah. I think it's very important to their dynamic that, like, Zed has 3 moms and Camila's the only one that picked him.
And she also picked Leo, which is when you look at the Leos dynamic.
When we talk about post-canon, that's something that's really fun. Is I think just Camila as the mother-in-law that's like, oh, pinching your little face.
Yeah,
it's very good. Lots of thoughts about that. Lots of thoughts, none of them coherent. But yeah, that's just very much their dynamic in my head of like Camila was his favorite teacher and now she's the only mom that actually picked him, which is fun.
And then she also picked his boyfriend.
She has picked every member of his found family so far.
Yeah.
I love her. Oh goodness. And with that, we are at about 45 minutes. Last minute, if anyone has other questions, go ahead. Otherwise, we're gonna hop off in a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited for that Sabine playlist to go up on the Patreon. I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's really good. I'm really proud of it. It's really.
I want to listen to it again after we get off of here.
I've had like 3 songs on it stuck in my head all day. I like it a lot. I'm excited. We did cheat a little bit. One of the songs is not technically a musical theater song, but it is by 2 musical theater composers. Nobody at me. Nobody get in the comments. We cheated a little bit. But it's really good. I really like it. Somebody said, any warnings for upcoming episodes, serious or not serious? Check the content warnings for episode 10. Yeah.
10, 11, 12.
Check them. Next few episodes, check the content.
Yeah, 10, 11, 12.
Check them.
Look at the
Not as much 12. Not as much 12.
12 is mostly a comedy episode, actually. Yeah.
10 and 11, biggest lore drops of the series. Check the content warnings. They are. Whoa, it's a lot. Specific warnings. What can I warn for that is not awful and will leave us on a funny note? A cat gets left in a public venue for a very long time.
No, okay.
The serious content warnings will be up. Somebody else in the chat said, thank you guys, this is our first Q&A. Glad to be here. Glad you're here.
Oh yeah, no, and we know who you guys are in reference to Patreon and everything.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're here.
But the serious content warnings for episode 10 will be up in the document. We put them up every Wednesday. Check them. Please check them. Approximately 12 p.m. Pacific, sometimes later if I get sidetracked. I'm sorry. But approximately that.
I'm thinking, should we just tell them?
They'll be in the doc.
Okay.
Yeah. Leaving things on a high note. A cat gets left in a public venue for a very long time.
But Mittens is doing fine.
Dwight from The Office. Content warning. So the chat said, does Leo Z Nation suffer? Not in episode 10.
Leo Z Nation doesn't suffer for a long time, actually.
Well, a little bit. Not in episode 10. There is no Leo Z angst in episode 10, is what I can say. That's what I'm going to say. And with that, we're out. We will see you in 2 weeks. Episode 10 goes up, not this coming Friday, but the next one. Check the content warnings. Please check the content warnings.
Have fun.
Big lore drops.
Bye.
Bye.
Uh-oh.